Old Spice and the reinvention of masculinity. In the late 2000s, Old Spice was fading. A brand from another century, the smell of aftershave and nostalgia. Its logo, a ship. Its fans, men who still read newspapers. In a world obsessed with newness, Old Spice felt old. The brand that once promised adventure now whispered of retirement. And yet, in 2010, something impossible happened. The internet, young, ironic, restless, fell in love with it. Not because it changed its formula, but because it changed its story. This is the tale of how one commercial transformed a dying deodorant into a digital legend, and how a 30-second joke rewrote the language of modern advertising. Old Spice began in the 1930s, back when men's grooming meant a razor, a mirror, and a bottle of alcohol that burned like fire. For decades, its ads sold a vision of classic masculinity. Ships, sailors, steady hands, square jaws. But by the 2000s, that world was gone. Masculinity itself was shifting. Less about toughness, more about irony, play and self-expression. The competition was young and loud. Axe, with its clouds of body spray and promises of instant seduction, owned the locker rooms and high school hallways. Old Spice couldn't fight that battle head on. It had to invent a new one. Their idea was to use humour as a weapon. Procter & Gamble turned to Wieden Kennedy, an agency that understood something most brands didn't. You can't win attention by shouting louder. You win it by being in on the joke. The agency looked at Old Spice's biggest weakness, its age, and decided to turn it into its greatest strength. If everyone thinks Old Spice is outdated, then fine, let's make fun of that. They created a character who embodied everything absurd about male perfection, handsome, confident, impossible. He wasn't a real man, he was an exaggerated fantasy of one. A parody of the very ads that once defined masculinity. His name didn't matter, but his line would become immortal. The moment was a commercial that broke reality. Let me set the scene for you. The ad opens on a shirtless man in a bathroom. He speaks directly to women. Flirtatious, commanding, and completely self-aware. Look at your man, now back to me. The camera moves, smoothly, impossibly. From the bathroom to a boat to a horse, each scene more ridiculous than the last. There's no product demo, no scientific claims, no logical argument. Just charisma, movement, and a wink. It was confidence so exaggerated it became comedy. And in that irony, with that refusal to take itself seriously, the brand became cool again. The internet didn't just watch the ad, it embraced it. The videos spread like wildfire across YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. People quoted it, remixed it, parodied it. Isaiah Mustafa, for the man on the horse, became a digital folk hero, but the real magic wasn't in the ad itself. It was in what came next. Instead of running a few commercials and calling it a day, Wieden Kennedy turned Old Spice into a living conversation. In a studio filled with props and towels, Mustafa responded to real fans online, recording personalised videos in real time. Someone tweeted a joke, he answered it. Someone asked a question, and he turned it into a punchline. In 48 hours, they created nearly 200 videos, each one funny, strange, and instantly shareable. It wasn't advertising anymore, it was performance. Sales exploded. They went up 125% in months. But that wasn't the real success. Old Spice had done something rarer. It made people feel good about being sold to. The campaign mocked traditional masculinity while still celebrating it. It let men laugh at the idea of being manly without giving it up. It gave women permission to enjoy the absurdity of it all, and it gave brands a new rulebook. If you can't be authentic, be cleverly self-aware. Because in the digital world, irony is a currency, and Old Spice spent it perfectly. Humour was used as evolution. Old Spice didn't just update its image, it evolved with its audience. In a culture exhausted by over-serious ads and fake perfection, it said, "We know this is ridiculous and that's why it's fun." The ad didn't reject masculinity, it remixed it. Confidence without aggression. Sex appeal without sexism, charm without sincerity. In 30 seconds, a brand that once smelled like your grandfather started to smell like confidence itself. 15 years later, the internet is full of brands trying to copy that tone. Cheeky, self-referential, absurd. Fast food chains tweeting jokes, luxury labels pretending to be relatable. Every company wants to sound human. But few understand what Old Spice proved. To make people listen, You don't have to sell them a product, you have to give them a story. One they can laugh at, share and make their own. Old Spice sold more than body wash. It sold a new kind of masculinity, one that didn't need to be serious to be strong. And maybe that's the real genius, not the horse, not the diamonds, not the absurd monologue that launched 1,000 memes, but the quiet revolution behind it. A brand learning to laugh at itself. And winning because of it. Because in the end, every man wanted to smell like confidence, and every woman wanted to laugh with it. And somewhere between irony and sincerity, Old Spice found something priceless: relevance.